So, and I was saying that now what we have here, we've got like I opened my drive so that you can see this folder in working. So this is the folder that I have in Studio Code mod, so that you can flow through. This is basically the Explorer mode on Studio Code, which is basically the same as I have in the folder web app, but there the written capital letters, but it's still the same thing. And then inside I've got CSS, and then I've got these dashboards that I have: the admin login, the index, the user dashboard, and the user login. So now, if I will open these items there. So if I open this, and then it's going to run, and then I'll show you the different things that are inside each and every, then I'm going to explore the code. Okay, just waiting for it to open up there. Okay, notice here, this is the user login when I've run it there. This is the user login after I've run it. So now your user login looks like this. This is the user login form, which is basically saying, like, and then I wrote some JS there. So if I write, it's notice that it tells me to fill out this, to fill this out. So there's some stuff that you just gonna need to. So now, as you can see there, like it's already validated and everything. I'm going to show you the code on JS there. So this is the user login. And then if I go to the dashboard, the user dashboard, notice this is the user dashboard. So in the dashboard, I say, welcome user, view prices and information, view prices. So there is nothing, I haven't written this code yet because I am not done yet with this particular piece of code. This is what we're going to also do. So now this is the dashboard from the user side, which is a quite simple thing if you can check there. And then the index, as I said, this one doesn't have any code. I haven't written the code for the index because the index, I want to use it to, so that whenever I open the app, this is where I'm going to land. I'm going to land in the index page. And then from the index page, I'm going to be linked either to the user or to the admin. So we're going to have to link these forms there. And then also on the same side, notice the admin login. Now click on the admin login, and then it's going to give me the admin login. So the admin login and the user login, they're basic, they look almost the same. Just the difference is that what's written here at the top. And I also need to change the name of the tab here because I just copied the code and then I just left it the way it is. So I didn't change that tab there. And then because it's the same thing. And then the admin dashboard. Notice the admin dashboard is a little bit different from the user dashboard. The user dashboard only says view prices, but the admin dashboard has got update prices and send message. You notice there. So this here allows you to work with a few other things. And also, I said there's no functionality yet on this app. So far, according to what you guys are seeing, so what do you guys think? Then we're finishing this code together. We're working together now to try to, make this code work, and so that we can see some different version. But now when you're talking about the app, this is what we're simply talking about. Now we need to work on the functionality in terms of the linking, on how to flow between one form to another. For instance, if I log in and then it's supposed to lead me over to, as an admin, supposed to lead me to the admin. If I'm logging in as a user, it's supposed to lead me over to the user page. And then when I update the information, it's supposed to update automatically on the other side. So that is what we want to do. So now, can you guys now get like sort of an idea on what exactly we're talking about now when I'm talking about this? Are we guys together? Are we almost on the same page now? Do you see what's happening? Hello.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna go live with this so that whatever changes that we make will be updated almost automatically that other side. So yeah, so far so good. Excuse me. So now we need to work from here. We need to know what to do from here now. That is what we want to do. We need to know what to do from here. Shabraf. Okay. Yeah, my live mode is on. I hope you guys can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Now let's work. So for us now to work now, okay, let me just go through the code. Notice the user login is the basic code that you guys know. Notice the HTML doc type, English as the language there. You've got our meta that we did, the same meta that we did yesterday. Then I wrote a title user login there. Then I linked to the CSS style that is in CSS there, which is styles.css. Then from there, then we had a container for logging in. Then we have a user login there, user login form, that is a form that you created. And then from there, you've got your inputs, which is the text for the username, the password there, and then we've got the submit button that we have there, and then we link that to the JavaScript. So that is the login form. There isn't much. It's not anything quite fancy. You guys can make it as fancy as you want. You can add pictures, transparent backgrounds, make it interactive. You can even put videos if you want, if you can. You can make it as interactive as you want. Here, just for class purposes, we're just going to keep it simple. Just going to keep it simple so that we can have something that we can work with. But yeah, so this here is the general idea. This is the general idea here. So this is your login form. And then I'm going to open also the admin login. The admin login, notice it looks exactly like the user login. As I said that I need to change this. From there, I'm going to save the change that I've done. So it looks exactly like the other form, the user form also. With your starting up there, we're starting up with the head and the doc type and everything. Then inside here, we've got a login container, which is basically the same as the user. The user also had a login container. If you check there, where is the login container, which is this one here. You notice we use the same. Now I say the same class here for the login container, because under CSS we need to be able to 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 do this. So we need to be able to use, notice there is my login container here, studying for the login container there. Like took the liberty of writing some basic notes there so that you guys can at least follow through. And then the commenting there, I'm pretty sure you guys remember the comments. This is how we comment in CSS. It's a little bit different from HTML. So, and then we've got your login containers there. These are the classes, and this is the code for the containers. And then for the form elements, we've got the styling there. For the buttons, we also have the styling for all the buttons that you have. And then we also have a hovering effect for our buttons there. So if we go back to our buttons, when you move there, then there's like some form of a hovering effect. It's not much because the color almost looks the same as the color of the button. But yeah, that's the point. So Yeah. And then from there, we've got the styling for all of these items that we have there. We've got all the stylings there for all that stuff. So now, going back, where am I? The user login. So I said the user login and the admin login are basically the same. And then I'll move over to the dashboard, admin dashboard. So now with the admin dashboard, observe, admin dashboard has got a little bit more. So this here is a standard code that we have. Notice the standard code is always a standard code. And then inside here, we've got a dashboard container, whereby we've got that name there, admin dashboard. And then from there, let me do this. Let me do this here. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Make it like that. Then so that okay, you guys can see what exactly that we're talking about. Okay, now, so what we have here is our admin dashboard. So in our admin dashboard here, we have the admin says welcome with admin dashboard, which is the top part there. And then welcome admin, you see that H2 there, line 13, which is that one there, welcome admin with an exclamation mark. And then we've got a paragraph that says update prices and send information, which is update prices and send messages. And then from there, and then we've got an ID there for update form. Notice the update form, we only have a button there. But now what you can do is you can add a form there that you need for you to do that. So we're going to add that form. This is what I want us to do. We're going to add that form there. And then we've got that button there, also another button. Then we need a form also for sending messages there. And then, yeah, and then also linked to the JavaScript. You notice it's like as minimalistic as possible. It's as minimalistic as possible. There isn't much here that that we have done. It's basically the same stuff that you guys have been doing. We just added one sort of a panel or a border, which are basically what we call div classes. So we added a div class there for the container, and then inside the container, and then we added another container, which is for the content. So we've got two containers there. One container is inside of another container. You've got your entire form, which is that, and then inside the form you've got a container, and then inside that container you've got another container that is containing all your content there. And then you notice that we made it as what you call this, as reactive as possible, so that it just moves with the page, no matter how the page looks like. So exactly the same thing that we did here when we went for the user dashboard. The user dashboard, almost the same. So now if we go back to the user dashboard there, let me do this. This is user dashboard. This is user login. This is user dashboard. So now you notice, okay, what is this? Admin login. Oh, there is the user login there. So notice here, this is what we have, which is the dashboard, and then the dashboard also the same user dashboard, and then we have what you call and then you've got that container there, and then inside you've got another container, welcome user, view prices, where we need to put forms, and we also need to display the prices there. So technically this is it. And then if I'll put where's my JavaScript, this is what was left. So now in JavaScript, notice the first part of JavaScript here, the comment say user login form handling. So this part here is for handling the user information. You notice there it's already linked to the dashboard. So the moment that we fill in information, we're gonna go back, we're gonna be pushed over to the dashboard. So if I will do this, oh, what am I doing? Okay, so let me open this is the admin. Okay, the user login. Let's say my user is this and my password is hi. Let's write a very short password. Okay, my password, say my credentials are wrong actually. So which means my credentials are not. So, okay, my username according to here, it's predefined, supposed to be username. And my password is supposed to be password. Okay, it's wrong here. That's small letters, everything. You notice there, we validated the information according to. Okay, why is it wrong now? Because it's supposed to be the same username and password. Okay, let me uh, use pass. Notice the moment I click, I'm supposed to open the dashboard. Yo. Oh, there we go. You see that? So now, which means I was typing it wrong there. You notice that it opens directly my dashboard because of the validation here that's been done from the form side. Okay, my screen is updating a little bit slow. I don't know if you guys can see because my view screen is updating a little bit slow. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? So the moment that you type, because already this was predefined, but it is up to you on how you do that. So if already it's linked to a database and then you're going to do it properly, but this here is how we test our code. See, so the moment that you get your details right, and then it leads you straight to the dashboard. Same applies with the admin side. So the admin side also, we've got admin as our username, admin pass as our password. So we go to the admin dashboard. Okay, this is the user. Okay, I need to change this thing here. So this here is admin because it's predefined. Your password's already written there. So admin, and then from there you click. Okay, it's not leading me to the admin dashboard. Why is it doing that? So let me just check. Does it colorate? Yeah, collorates. Okay. For some weird reason, it's not opening up my admin dashboard. It's supposed to, so it means something I need to change here to my code here. But notice that this is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed just to open that particular dashboard there, the admin dashboard site. It's supposed to open it up straight. So my code is not linking up. So I just need to work on that. I need to go and check what's up with my code. Admin login. So let me save this. And I need to check something also on the other side. Let me do that. Which one am I looking for? I'm looking for this is admin login. I'm looking for admin dashboard. See if my code is collaborating. Oh, okay. And then I have this here, which is AS slash. There because I didn't put the file admin dashboard, which is perfectly fine. Okay, my code is fine. I don't know why it's not linking me up to my dashboard because it's supposed just to open up my dashboard the moment that I do that. Okay, we'll just figure it out there. for a second. Okay, so but if you guys can see that, like the code here is basically bundled up. Like as I said, that the first part deals with the user login. The second part of my JavaScript here deals with user login. You notice they were making use of these if else statements there, and then we've got this here, which is basically the elements like get ID by get element by ID using a document there. Then we've got your two IDs, ID values that you have, your username and your password there, according to the forms that we have. So now when you open your form for the login there, you will see these items, see admin username and admin password there. So these items there are the ones that will link to our JavaScript, which is this side there, with all this code that has been written there. And then from there, now you've got your admin, and then you've got your password there, admin pass, which is refusing to work right now for some weird reason, but we'll check it. And then from there, and then Windows href location, you see that now this one tells it that open a window called admin.dashboard there. And then from there, and then see that. And then from there also, you've got these forms here that we have with all these event listeners. Like for instance, you notice here, we've got all your code that you need there. And then we are going to discuss some of this code here. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys have much questions, especially when it comes to the login part, of which you guys know the login part. We've done this code a countless times before. You know almost all of this code by now. And then the other code here for doing that, these are just event listeners and stuff. We're just gonna discuss what exactly. But we spoke about what an event listener is because when you're dealing with that with a login, we spoke about it. That is supposed, remember, to listen. Like whenever you click on the button submit, it's supposed to perform something, and then it's supposed to call out a function here. The submit button calls out a function event. Now, what is the name of the function? Now you're gonna check. This here is the entire function that is written inside of that aspect there. So guys, like we're supposed to be interacting. If you have any questions right now, you're supposed to be asking, because um, I do not want to be moving alone here. Like you guys have to be with me. So we have to be operating together. We have to be working together right now. So is there questions? Is there queries? Anything that you guys need clarification over? Things like that. What's up? Okay. Can you just give me a minute?
Let me say, I think I'll have questions after I've done something. So it's where I will ask you some questions.
After?
Like when I've tried and created something, so that's where I'll ask you questions when I find challenges. But so far, like I can hear what you're saying and how you are doing it.
Okay, okay. So, but it's not something strange, something new, because we have seen this before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now check with lessons that we've been doing in JavaScript. Now, does this things now is it making sense now? All of these functions, constants, and stuff like that. Is it now making sense, better sense than before?
Yeah, like now I can see like what we've been learning, so how it applies to the code. So I can see it just I just that need some time like to have practice on my own. So then I can find like challenges, then I ask questions.
Okay, perfect. Cool. No, if you put it like that, that's awesome. All right. Thank you. Okay. The rest of you guys, we cool? Okay. Just can you give me a second? Like a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. So let's continue. So now we're here with we say that you want now to fill up the information that you need to fill up. Say that we're just going to change a lot of the information. Actually, not change. We're just going to add in information from there, because I didn't want to create this all the way with you guys like yesterday. That was going to take us too much time. So it's easier for us just to add in information from there, because already you guys have an idea how to create some of these things there. You guys have an idea, so I don't need to start afresh for everything. So anyway, now back to the status quo. Back to the status quo. So now on this thing here, on this thing here, we said that now we want to add a few things. Let me go back to my dashboard, because this is where now we're adding the dashboard. Now we want here to add some of these form fields. That is what we want to do. We add some of these form fields. So now for us to do that, we need to start the code with like we need to design the form fields for, is it I'm trying to think, should I start with the admin or the user side? But it doesn't really matter. So I'm simply going just to write some of the code there. So let me do that. So now we need to think this through. We need to think this through. So for us now to go through this, we need to know what exactly that you want to do. So we're just going to do this. Because already you have a form, and then we want to update the prices. Let's say you want to update those prices there. So now if you want to update those prices, and then we're simply going to create labels and inputs for that. Let's do that. So now we need to put a header already for that. Excuse me. So let's put a header H2. No, because already we have H2, which is welcome. So which means this one should be smaller. So we'll make it H3. Then we call it update. Okay. Now inside this, not inside, but yeah, in this particular thing, then we are just going to put, okay, it's still inside the form, and then you're going to put a label. Now, this particular label here, we want to write certain things in the label here. So we want to say for, okay, I'm just going to use the same items that I've been using all this time, item, because the thing is, I do not have anything, a product in mind, or we can always change this so that we can see how it actually interacts. So now this item A is going to be item A, obviously. Then I'm just going to call, okay, I'll copy it after I'm done. And then from there, and then we want an input for that. Guys, remember, feel free, stop me and ask if it's something that you do not understand. So this is a number that you want to put, and it's going to have an ID, and the ID will be called item A, obviously. And let's give it a name also, and then we call it item A. And then, okay, kind of step 0.01, okay, and it has to be required, right? It has to be a required field. So we're done with that here. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to duplicate this because let's say according to the JS that we have, we've got three of these things there. So in our JS, this is what we did. So there's item B and there's item C. And then I'm going to change this one to B and this one here to B. And then this will be item C. Okay. Yeah, then the button is still the button, so I'm not going to change anything about that. And then we are done with this particular form. So let me just leave a little bit of space there. We are done with this particular form. And yeah, so basically now, if I'll break it down for you, the label here, it's an element that provides the label for each element that we have. So if I will save there and go to the, where was I? This is the admin, right? You notice there. So you've got that thing, item A, item B, item C. See that? So we haven't styled these items. That is why they're looking a bit weird like that. But now these here are the, this is what we're simply doing. So the label represents these things that we have at the top. The for part, for is an attribute for each label. So, and the for always has to be associated with the ID. That is why whenever we're dealing with the label, we say label for something. You see that, which is for label for item A. You see that, and then item A. So the for part has to be, is basically an ID, if we can put it like that. So it's associated with ID. And then now for each input that we have, now what we're gonna have is each input has got a unique ID usually, and then a unique username and stuff. That is the same stuff that I did in the JS there. So in the JS also, you notice there, we've got all these items that we have there, and then with their prices that we have to make it something quite basic there. So here, I'm supposed to use it. Okay, so something like that. You notice there, these are your prices basically, and then your prices are going to be changing and stuff. So this is the button for updating these particular prices. We're going to talk about them. But now this is what I'm mostly interested in, simulating the prices there. Notice there, item A, you notice that thing that I was talking about. Your ID has to correspond with these IDs that you have here. We're saying pass float. So who can tell me what pass float does? By the way, what does pass float do? What is pass float? What is pass float? What does pass float do? Guys, what does pass float do? Hello, am I talking alone? Or you guys can't hear me?
I can hear you say, just that I'm not sure.
When we did it in class, remember, we said that pass float, we've got a lot of these for data conversion. We're dealing with data conversion. So pass float basically takes a string value and returns a float value. So in this case here, you are dealing with money here. So if you're dealing with money, you cannot deal with money as a string, but you can deal with money as a what? As a float. So money every time has to be dealt with as a float there. And then, yeah. So that is what pass float does there. So anyway, I was just showing you how it basically links there. So anyway, now we have this, we're done with this part there. And then from there, we're done with this part there. And then now, what else is left? Now we're left with the styling part because it doesn't look so nice. It doesn't look so nice. So now, how then do we deal with that? Do we deal with that what you call CSS for this particular thing there? We need to deal with the CSS there. So we need to write the CSS code for that. So what do you think? So we're going to open our CSS, obviously. Then we need to write code for that particular. It's still the form, but we're writing code for that. So what do you think? How we're supposed to go about it? Guys, you're making me feel like I'm speaking alone. You know that?
We are following you.
Nah, but following me doesn't mean that you guys are involved, because following me can mean a lot of things. You can follow me, but you don't understand. You can follow me, but you're not saying anything because you guys are not saying a word. It makes me worried, kind of.
Nah, maybe it's just a quiet day today.
It's just a what?
A quiet day.
It's a quiet day today. I can also be quiet, Mus. I also want a quiet day, Wesley.
So I don't know why people aren't talking, but from my side, I'm just going along.
Okay, but is it making sense for you, bro?
Yeah, it's making sense. When I see you doing it, yeah, it becomes much simpler because yes.
Okay. So far, the app thing is making sense for you, ne?
100%.
Not bad.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Telling me like that moment. Thank you. Okay, guys, just give me a second.
Yeah,
Hello. I'm sorry about that, guys. Just attending something fast. So, okay, let's go back. Where was I? Think I was here. Okay, so we're looking at, okay, let me just share again. So we're looking at this thing here. So the CSS part of that code there, I'm simply going to do this. Now we're writing code for the update. So let me just put a comment here, star, and then I'll say update. Prices. Prices form, but already we have code for the form. So let me just check. So these are for the results there. I'm looking at the form. We have the price for the form, which is oh, there we go. So we've got the price for the form, or so we've got the code for the form already there. So this is what we have. But let me go back to my dashboard. So in the dashboard, already we've got the form there that's called ID update prices form. So I need to create code for this particular form. So I'm going to copy that. Even though in the form there is already some piece of code which isn't much, if you can tell, there we go. We don't have much there. So I'm going now to do this, to add in some code, there. Actually, let me put it at the bottom. Let me put at the bottom here, because if I just wanna, let me put it at the bottom there, and I'll call it dot. And then I'll do that, add prices, and then start writing some code there. And then I'm gonna give it width. Now the problem that I have with here, let me say 80%, because I wanna work with the width that is already there. I'm just gonna work with 80% there of the width. If ever there's anything, we're just gonna come back and change, because let me see, what is the width of the form? It just has a margin. It doesn't have anything else. There's nothing else that was put here for the form. So just gonna work with that, because this is a form that is inside of another form. So I'm just going to work with that part there. So like that, margin. Margin. So a margin here, I'm just gonna put it as an auto margin. So 0 auto, we're gonna change it if ever there is a need. And then padding, we know with code, it can mess up 20 px like that. And I'm gonna put a border, obviously. Do I need a border? I don't think I need a border. Let me just leave it without a border there. Let me just leave it without a border, because every time I have to go back and just confirm with what I have here. This is that I just have to keep on doing. So I have to keep on confirming, because these two forms here are different. Because actually, let me add a border, because I'm dealing with two different forms. So I'd rather have a border on both of my forms there. So I'm just going to have a border here. And then this border here, I'm going to say 1px, which is the line. And then it's going to be a solid border with a color that is a bit whitish side, or on the gray side, so that it doesn't just over dilute there. And then now, labels, I need to give them also something. So I'm just going to copy this here. And then I'll paste, and then I'll call it a label, because I'm dealing with the label here. And then the labels there, I'm simply going to work with them there. The width of that particular label. I don't need a width for the label. For the label, I need a font. Let me just put it a size. Font size there, I'm going to say it's 16px. Font weight, obviously. Font weight, which is that one there, and then I'm going to give it Let me just make it bold because already it's size 16. So if I put a font size, I don't really need to work with the weight. Usually I put a weight if I don't have a size. That's how it usually works. But now I just say it bold. So, and then margin from the bottom, work with the margin from the bottom. If there's anything else, then I'll just need to change that 10 px. Okay. Now, then let me work with I have the button, so I don't need to do anything with the button there. So I need to work with the input. So let me do the input part. I'm just gonna copy that and of label, and then I'll deal with input because I need to work with the input side. So with the input, I'm going to give it a width of 80%. 80, is it fine? Let me make it 200, and then if there is a change, we're gonna make the change because we're still going to check all of these things there. So as we are working there, let me just pull out the code. Yeah. Is it's not changing anything as of yet? So I'm just gonna okay. I'm just gonna check as to why right now it's not okay. All right, I'm just gonna check as to why it's not working out the way that I want. Okay, height. I wanted to match the same height as the other inputs there. Let me look at the other inputs that I have. What height did I specify? Where's my inputs? I'm trying to find my inputs. That is login. Oh, there we go. Okay, I didn't specify any height. And then I say the input there is going to be block. Actually, I need that block there also for the input there. And let me just copy this for the input. I think it would be fine for the inputs there. For this input, I'm just going to copy that same code that I have on the other side. So block it and width of 100%, but I'm going to change that width because 100% is a little bit ridiculous. It doesn't work the way that it's supposed to be. 80% works better. So which means also here I need also to change that width of 100% to an 80%. So save. Save what I'm saving here, and I'm also saving other side. And the CSS there, the styling, I think I should be sorted now. I think I should be sorted now. I hope it's doing what it's supposed to do. No, it's not. Okay, let me go back to my input here. Let me put it back at 100%. This was it, 100%. Okay. And save. Okay, and then my inputs are not responding. So let me check why my inputs are not responding here. Okay, but my inputs here are still part of my thing. So okay, these are the containers there. I'm looking at the styling for my form. Okay. Okay, let me do this. let me do this. For the button, I'm thinking for the button, I want to change a few other things here for the button. I'm thinking, should I copy some of the code here? Okay, I'm gonna remove this. The width, but if I do that also, because okay, let me just add my input type here instead of busy typing it down here. So for response purposes, because it's not responding how it's supposed to be, I'm going to, because this here is being overwritten by the other code at the very top here. So instead of now just working with it that way, I would rather work with it in a with the input there. So now I'm just going to add that other input type there, input, and okay, let me just do this. Okay. There's a lot of error fixing that we have to work with here. So you guys will forgive me for the error fixing that I'll be doing here. Number. Okay, so input type numbers, and I've actually catered for that also as well. So I've styled the form element there. So I'm going to, if I need to do anything, I'm just going to change this input type number. Then I'm just going to delete that part there. Then let's see. That should be fine. And then that should work. Yeah, anyway, didn't do anything really, but it did what it's supposed to. And then I'm gonna just change the font of the labels. The font of the labels, that's the only thing that I will just need to change there. Okay, the font of the labels here, I'm just gonna change them. And I'm just gonna write it here. There we go. Okay. Let me write it on its own underneath here. It's a label. So the labels, I'm just going to write them here. So I'm just going to say font size. Font size there, I'll simply keep it the same. But actually, let me just reduce it maybe to a 14. And then the font weight. I'll still keep it at bold. It's the same thing that I've written before, and margin bottom, because I wanted to create a sort of some margin underneath there. So margin bottom. Then I wanted to create some sort of margin from the bottom of the file that we have. So I think this should work. Let's see. Oh, there we go. You notice there, and still creating a little bit of space underneath there, which is perfectly fine. So yeah, I think now if we, whatever change that you're gonna make, so now we've actually added some other items there. We've actually added some other items there. So some other items of the form, even though we might need to work around this, because now what I'm thinking is for the button, I want to remove some elements of the button from here. I want to remove some elements of the button from here. So as much as we have all of this stuff here, and then I'm going to do this input also. I'm going to write it separate. Notice sometimes some of these things are going to give you a problem, as I said that. So now you need to be careful here. So with the width of the button, I'm going to leave it here under the button at 100%, but I'm going to remove it from here. And then I'm going to put it here. The width for the input, I'm going to leave it at 80%. So this here should work better for our inputs that we have. And okay, it's still not working, still not working. Okay, let me do this. I'm just going to copy a few of these other items there. And I'm just going to remove this button here. Okay, let me see. File an error, guys. Okay. All right. 80 as well. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's too short because I want it to be almost the same size as the button. So 80 is not working out. Let me use 90. Is it at 95? Nothing. 95. Okay, almost, but it works out better for me. So anyway, you observe here. So now we have updated we've fixed up the components here, and then we've blocked the items because they're supposed to be blocks. Even if you increase the page, the size, it's not stacking. So because you want them as blocks there. So this is what we initially wanted. So far, so good. So now, I think we sorted here. If there is anything else that we need to do, and then we can always just check what's up. But I think so far so good. I think so far so good. I think so far so good. So now we can work with the other part. We can work with the other part now. Now the other part with the index page. Let me fix out the index page so that we can link these forms together. I need that code for the index page, but so what I'm gonna do is, excuse me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy this part from the head, from the body, going up here. I'm going to copy this part there, copy this part, and I'm going to paste it in the index page so that we can just continue with our code. Right, and then the body, because it's opened, obviously it's going to close. Okay, and then our HTML also is going to do exactly the same thing. HTML is going to do exactly the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll type this in. Okay, then let me just return it back because anyway, this is to be inside. All right, So whatever code that we're writing from inside of the body there. Right. So now we can write, because now we need to link. This is what we do. We need to link. That is what we need to do. So now I'm trying to think how, like, the content, in terms of the content here, I need to have that. So I'm trying to think on what to do. But yeah, we're simply going to just write something very, very basic. Something very, very, very basic. So that when you click on the button, just opens one form, click on the other button, opens one form. So that is what we want to do there. So now what I'm just gonna do is should I use it? I don't need div here. This is the body. I don't need div. So I'm just gonna dive straight to the point. So with our CSS code there, just went straight, like, this is the body HTML. So you just went straight to the point there. And then do I need a container? I'm thinking, do I need a container? I think I'll need a container. Let me just put everything in a container so that it looks basically the same. Yeah, let me use a container so that basically everything looks the same. I think it would be best if I use a container, because now when I use a container, everything will look the same. So I'm gonna use the same container that I have for the dashboard and for the logins. Let me just copy it here. I'm just gonna copy this code here, that div part, and I'm just gonna change that form thingy there. So, but I'm just copying the code here so that my code will look almost consistent. So instead of saying login container here, I will call it index container. So which means I need to go to my styling. I need to add that container there. So comma, and then I say dot index container. I want it to basically maintain the same. So now on this container that we have for the index page, we are going to say, yeah, I'm going to say, please select login, login, login. So this is the part. This is the first part there. And then now inside here, I am going to have some sort of a div. And then this div here, I'm going to call it class. And then I'll call it, it's a class of buttons, right? Okay, let me do this. Let me leave it as a form, but inside here, I'll call it not admin form, but I'll call it login form. Simple login form without saying login, without saying the type of user there. And then I'm just going to remove the inputs. But we don't need the inputs. What we simply need are buttons there. So now, let me just write my code here because it's going to confuse the hell out of you guys. So anyway, let's say we're creating a div class. That is what we're doing. We're creating a div class there. So this first div was for that one there. Now login, and then we've got a div class, a division class there. Where now we want the person to select what type of a login I need to have that saying there. Select. Actually, please select. Let's make it very polite. Please select the type of user. That type of user you are login. But I think, and then here I'll call it a landing page. Okay, I think this is so far so good. So if I save this and then I run this code here, the index, let's see what happens with index. Okay, there we go. It's boring, but something. Please select the type of user that you are. As I said, boring, but it works. So far so good. So this is what we have. So you're selecting the type of user that you are in this scenario here. And then from there now, here in the div class, now want to make those buttons, but now we're not going to make buttons that are complicated here. Here we're just going to make a simple button because we just want to link. That is what we want to link there. So I'm simply going to name them buttons, and then with a plural, so that at least we know the difference with the other one, which is a button. So this one will know plural. So a href. You notice I'm using a reference here. The reference here is going to be user login.html. There we go. And then we're going to class it as button. So it's going to basically look like all these other buttons that you have because we have classed it as a button there, but we're going to look at that. And then now, what should I do? Let me put, because I do not have a source, I do not have those nice icons that we have. Usually we're supposed to have like an icon so that we can actually use. So let me just use a prompt. So I'll use a prompt. So I'll just call an ing icon there. Source is equals to, let me say, user.png, because we do not have a picture. So then I'm going to have an alternate text, alternate, which is user, and then an image. So and then we're gonna say login. So usually an image looks like that. So let me do this. So this is how it looks. And then that was the user login there. And then I'm going to copy exactly the same piece of code here. and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the other gent, which is basically the admin. So like as like if you observe guys here, when you observe, you notice that these things are basically similar. What we're doing here is basically the same thing that you keep on doing and doing again and again and again. Log in. Yep, I think we're done with this part here. So now if I save this and run it, so this is what we have. You notice there, the moment that I click it, when I click the other side, I clicked user login, it brought me to the login, to the user login. Then I click admin, it brings me to the admin. Okay, why is it? Oh, okay, I'm the one who used the wrong link. So I'm supposed to say admin login, not dashboard. Okay, so save that, and then let's do that again. User login, see, and then admin login. See that? So now when I click on user login and then I log in as a user, then my password is use pass. And then click on OK, then it leads me to the user dashboard. You notice now the sequence. That's how your app is supposed to, or your web portal, whatever that you guys are doing, this is how it's supposed to proceed. This is how it's supposed to flow. So now when you are making it flow, it's supposed to flow in a similar fashion. Whatever that you do, try to make it flow. This is the whole point there. And then later you're going to add in some sign out items there so that you can like sign out, because right now there's no sign out items and stuff like that. We need to have those kind of buttons there that will allow you to actually sign out. But I hope this here brings everyone to some sort of, an idea as to what you guys are supposed to do. I hope this gives you an idea as to what you guys are supposed to do, because the whole point is you guys wanted an idea. Now I think you literally have some kind of an idea. So you know where to start and you just have to do a little bit of research. But now the issue or the biggest elephant that you guys are going to deal with, you're going to deal with the aspect of what is that thing? The creativity part. You have to be a lot creative. Like you have to be a hell a lot creative. So I do not know how you guys are going to do it, but you're going to be very creative. Like this form that I created here, it's not exactly something that we can call creative. It's not creative. This is not creative at all. So I click here and then I just write. Like it's boring. Boring. This one is not, as I was saying that this code here is not working. I still need to fix that part there. That's not linking over to the other page according to the JS there. So, but now, as I'm saying that at the end of the day, you guys are going to be creative. You're going to make it nicer. You're going to make it more creative. I do not know how, but yeah. So are we together, guys?
Yes, Mr. Chesi. At least we have an idea of what is expected from us. Because on my
Okay.
side, I didn't have an idea on what I should do. But now, yeah, I have an idea. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, at least now we have an idea of what is expected from us.
Okay. Thank you, Bossy. And seeing Pascalina is throwing a yo. Yeah. Pascalina, what's wrong? Why is throwing a yo?
Hi, sir.
Hi, Pascaline.
Also, but it is, from a half full approach, unlike a half empty approach.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. So yeah, I think today we can stop here, and then tomorrow, and then we're just gonna finish up this. We do the updates and see how it works at the end. So that is what we're going to do tomorrow. We're just gonna finish this thing up, and then we see how it actually operates from all the sides that are working. So I hope this was very helpful, as the other guys have said that it's helpful, and we're also going to look at the JavaScript code so that you can get to understand the different elements of your JavaScript there. The login parts are fine. And then now the second part is the dashboard handling. So we need to look at the dashboard handling from the user side, and then from the what you call this, and from the administrator side, we need to have those items there. So we're going to look at our code from both our users. All right, guys. Have a good day. Then we'll talk tomorrow. Just go ahead, digest this information that we've been doing, and then you guys have a good day and an awesome time. So see you guys. Cheers.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. So, are you back on WhatsApp?
Bye-bye,
Uh,
everyone.
I am using WhatsApp on my other the 067 number if you
Bye,
have
sir.
it, so you can. Bye.
Okay, sir.